Good morning. Welcome to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Diana Rich, and I'm joined in the studio with our producer, Nick Steffens. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Monday, beginning of the week, so hopefully it's going to be a good one. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got a little jet lag from the weekend, wishing it was a 3-day weekend, but next weekend we get 3 days.
Yep.
So something to look forward to. All right, let's take a look at the weather. It was a beautiful weekend this last weekend, and looks like it's going to be another great day today. 72 degrees and mostly sunny out. I think the high is supposed to be around 80, so really nice out.
Then once this weather's gone, it's going to suck. The first rainy day after this 2 weeks of sun and 80 it's going to hit hard.
Everyone's going to complain. All right, let's take a look at the local events. There was a ton of things going on this weekend in Washington, and kind of looking forward to this week. Tomorrow is the Armchair Adventures at the Washington Public Library. Sounds like Jean Fraser is going to visit. She's going to talk about her experience in Iceland. That sounds pretty cool. From 2 to 3 at the library, called Armchair Adventures Iceland. And then before we know it, it's going to be June, and mark your calendars. We have the Summer Classic in Washington, June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Celebrate our community with a fun weekend that includes kids' activities, street dance, live bands, food trucks, parade, and more. That's always really fun. Have you ever been to the Summer Classic?
I haven't. When I started working here a year ago.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when did you start? When did you start?
This is my 1-year anniversary today.
Happy anniversary,
I
Nick.
just realized that.
Yay! And the confetti drops.
Yeah. I guess this is my 1-year anniversary here. So it was I just started working here, and there was all this commotion of ridiculous days and the Summer Classic, and then I got to work one day and there was a parade, and I was just more confused about all of it because I was 2 weeks into this job. But now I'm now I'm kind of excited for all of it.
Oh, if you and Jade are free that weekend, they have the bands playing out at the airport, and it's really cool. Food trucks, and it's just kind of like a fun event. So, all right, more to come on that, I'm sure, but mark your calendars for that in a couple weeks. Let's take a look at the police report. 18 traffic calls, 6 calls for suspicious activity, 5 animal calls, 5 harassment calls, 4 calls for civil dispute, 4 vandalism calls, 3 warrant arrests, 3 welfare checks, 3 calls for trespassing, 3 calls for burglary, and then several calls for 2 and 1 for a total of 75 calls on the police report. And Nick was so kind to print off the police report in Courier font this time, which is one of my favorites. Like, you just whipped out the typewriter and typed this in.
I everything else is in Courier New except for the police report. I guess I don't know is
Times New Roman.
Everything else. I think all the Mount Pleasant documents are in Courier New, and so I switched up to make it easy.
All right,
easy on you.
Well, being in marketing, fonts are something that is important to me. Just so you know. All right. The police report, we had an intimidation harassment call in Wellman. Caller reports someone has spray painted in bright green an explicit word on the grass. It was documented.
Is green the best color to spray paint on grass?
Probably not. But now I want to know what word and where. I want to see pictures.
Yeah.
All right. Suspicious activity call in Washington. Caller reports male subject on scaffolding in the alley behind the old Winga's restaurant. 110 responded, subject has permission to be painting there. Somebody doing their job.
Yeah, that was all it was.
Getting called in for it. Suspicious activity call in Washington. Unknown subject contacted 9211 advising of a group of teenagers possibly under the influence at the basketball courts at Sunset Park. 101 responded. Subjects were not under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and advised an adult had confronted them about the way they drove into the park. No further issues.
I want to get on my soapbox for this one because a lot of people recently how do we get young people to move back to rural Iowa? And I was one of these kids in high school where the cops would get called on us because we're drunk and high and going crazy, and it's we're just
being kids.
We're just we're just existing and not One time we were racing each other at the track, and people called the cops on us.
Right.
And that was it. And it's problem they're just playing basketball, and then the cops get called on them, and it's oh well, I guess I'm not allowed to like exist here and like just have fun.
Right. Just find
at the public park.
Find things to do without causing problems.
Yeah. And so a lot of times it's like, oh, I just will stay inside.
Right. Public service contacts call in Washington. 92.7 reports being flagged down by a citizen. Everything was fine. Subject thought 92.7 had tried to pull him over a couple miles back.
You're home free, buddy. Don't.
So they flagged down the police officer because they thought they got pulled over.
Yeah. But I'm like, you're free. You're not, like, he really wants to pay that ticket apparently.
Right.
I also might have got someone pulled over this weekend because I was driving through a construction zone, maybe going, not to incriminate myself, maybe going 12 over, maybe.
Yeah.
And there was like the radar thing that says your speed limit and it just said slow down. And there was a car in front of me and the state patrol officer pulled over the car in front of me. And I'm pretty sure it was me that tripped the thing.
Oh, wow.
And so.
Well, you didn't call him in. It's not your fault. It's the patrol officers.
Yeah. Again, not to incriminate myself.
Speaking of speeding, recently I was driving to get my son.
Mm-hmm.
I was like on the 4 lanes, just like not paying attention. And I looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going 62 miles an hour, like in a 35. And I'm like, oh my, I don't feel like I'm going that fast, but I was like not paying attention, look in my rearview mirror, see lights, but it was like from a police car, but it wasn't the car behind me. It was the police car was behind that car. And I was like, oh my gosh, are they pulling me over? So anyway, so we both pull over. The cop cars goes beside us. And then I realized that my speedometer got tripped to kilometers. Oh. Is that right? Is that the right?
Yeah.
So
you're obeying the law.
Back. I was going the speed limit, but I was freaked out, and then I saw the lights. Anyways, so all right. Let's see here. Got lost. We're on fire call in Washington. Caller reports that the neighbor is burning something, and it is causing someone in his residence to not feel well. Deputies were on other calls and not able to respond right away. When available, 92.9 checked the area and was unable to locate any fire.
Two things with that one. One, the cops are meant to solve, like, for crime. So even if there was a fire and it was making this person feel unwell, what are the cops gonna, like, that's not a crime.
Right.
And two, I like how the cops like didn't show up right away because they just knew. Like,
right, they knew what was going on.
Like, it's not high on their list.
Yeah. All right, another call. Public service contacts call in Washington. Caller reports his GPS took him down a dirt road with nowhere to turn around. So now he needs someone to help direct him in backing up down the road. 9220 responded and assisted. It's quite the good deed of the police officer to, help with that. Do you think he assisted by helping him, or do you think he got in the car and was like, bro, I got this?
Oh, I don't know. I was picturing like the dad thing where it's like, you're good. Yeah. Oh yeah, the air traffic control.
Oh man. Yeah. Well,
he couldn't do like maybe, I don't know if it was like a semi, who knows, but like, don't you think they could have done like a
10-point
turn? Yeah, like even if it was 10 points, at least you're turned around.
Just the things that people call about. I feel like being a dispatcher would be probably a pretty entertaining job, but also super frustrating. And it's probably, and they also get, very really
serious
upsetting calls. Yeah. So it would be all kinds. I'm sure they could write a pretty interesting book.
Yes.
All right. That's all we have for the police report. And we will take a commercial break. And when you get back, Nick and I will talk to you about some weekend festivities of ours.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank. Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Hey, Emmy. What did the lettuce say to the celery? Quit stalking me.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Diana Rich, and I'm joined in the studio with Nick Steffens, and we've been talking about fun things we did this weekend.
Yeah, well, you had
Not sure if they were fun, but
yeah, so you put quite a bit of miles on this weekend.
I did. Busy weekend. I went to Stillwater, Minnesota, which is just east of the cities, to visit some college girlfriends. We decided a couple months ago to get together, and we didn't want to fly anywhere. So Stillwater's kind of like Galena. So like River City or Rivertown in Minnesota. Lots of bike trails, shopping, food, coffee, spas.
Yeah.
So yeah, really neat place. I'd suggest if you like to bike or eat or shop or any of those things, go up there. But yes, I did. So went up there Friday, and then Sunday I left at 6 a.m. and drove straight to Fort Madison, which is somewhere around 367 miles, give or take, 5 or 10 miles.
And I drove down to Fort Madison on Saturday, and it's 40 minutes from Mount Pleasant. I was like, ugh. So I can't imagine adding another like 5 hours on top of that.
I was thinking, if I would have been thinking, but I wasn't thinking. I spent like 11 hours in the car by myself this weekend. Like I could have learned a second language.
You could have.
What do you do? What did you do when you would go to Cedar Falls to visit Jade? What would you do in the car?
Usually I would try to do the language podcast. It's like, oh, like if I'm going to be, I don't know how many, so it was 16 weeks this semester, 8 weeks too. Yeah. So I'm in there for 16 hours by myself. I can learn a language, but then those things put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Because it's just some dude with a monotonous voice repeating words back to you, and it's kind of hypnotic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking I should have done something like that, but I also kind of enjoyed going between I have XM radio, so I went between like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the Pop 2K, the Hits one.
Every 100 miles, change a decade.
Like just hitting the different buttons, like jamming out. So no, it was a pretty drive. It was good. And then, down to Fort Madison yesterday, watched baseball. Got a little baseball mom sunburn and instead of a farmer's tan.
Yeah.
And then after that, went up to Williamsburg to see my nephew's graduation party. So definitely was an exhausting Sunday, but my heart's full.
One thing you mentioned with seeing your friends is that it was months worth of planning in advance. Yeah,
we didn't plan at all because we're like so busy. Like I think between us, there's 13 kids, 5 moms. So like we planned this like to get together this weekend, and like we booked a hotel. But outside of that, like we had no idea what we were going to do, which was kind of fun and like the total opposite of all of our personalities, because we're all like mothers
type A,
and we're like, we're going to have this for dinner and we're going to do this. And this weekend we have this and now we're going to do this. And we were just kind of like, we're exhausted from doing that.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to show up and just be.
Well, I'm trying to get together with my college friends, which it's only been a year, but it was just like, we all have jobs now. So it's like 3 months in advance just to hang out. When it used to be, I'd walk down the street or like I lived with them.
It's like impossible to find weekends. My one friend is a high school music teacher in Des Moines area. And so she has like show choir every weekend in the winter. But like winter's the best time for me because now it's like baseball and soccer and all the things. And then my other friends' kids are in gymnastics. And anyways, it's crazy.
Yeah. None of us have kids yet, thankfully. But it's more just,
so
we're also at the beginning of our career. So it's not like we have like 120 hours of PTO banked up and like able to leave. Like usually my friends work in, what's it called? Supply chain management. So if a project needs to be done, management takes the vacation and then he's stuck with everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Yep. I hear you. So definitely been there. And you said you planted some herbs and tomatoes.
It was my grandma's, or Nana as we call her birthday on Friday, her 87th, I believe. I never remember.
You told me 87 earlier.
I think it's 87. I think she was born in 1936.
Just stick to the story.
Yeah.
Stick to the story.
Anyway, for her birthday, I go over and plant all of her like outdoor flowers and all that stuff. So that was fun. I think I did a pretty good job, not to brag. And then Jade and I went to Fort Madison before that and there's a plant store called Pool 19. There's a coffee shop down there. We got more plants and then came out to Mount Pleasant and planted our own stuff, like tomatoes, herbs, all that stuff. And then it got to like dinner time and we ordered a pizza and then didn't move from the couch and the recliner for the rest of the day.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. And then Sunday, it was my first day by myself in I don't know how many weeks because Jade worked and I didn't have work. So I was just left to my own devices for the whole day. And it was weird.
Is it awesome? Or?
I was on my house husband grind. I deep cleaned the house, did all the laundry, did all the cooking.
Look at you.
I did everything.
Planting all the plants, doing all the things on Sunday.
And that's basically all I did all weekend. And it was so nice. Like it feels weird being like, oh yeah, I love doing house chores. But for the past year, I've either been traveling to Cedar Falls or Jade's down here and we're busy doing things together. And if I get off work, I'm not going to be like, you know what I really want to do right now? Bleach the bathtub.
Right. Well, and it always feels good to like start your week off, like having all of those things done. Because now you're like, after work tonight, you probably feel like, there's not as much things to do.
Yeah, and then I made pasta with like a sauce that had to simmer for like 2 hours, and then there was like pasta sauce.
Look at you! You're not a husband yet.
Yes,
but
that's why after I made dinner, I said I wiggled the ring finger. I was like, this could all be yours. But
right. Like you're going for husband of the year award, but you're not even.
I'm on a boyfriend salary doing husband things. But no, it was. But then the problem with that is in the kitchen was absolutely destroyed after I spent an hour deep cleaning it.
Yeah.
So the problems of adulthood.
Really adulting. Where'd you order pizza from on Saturday night?
So this people in Washington won't care about this, but what was Bretto is now Main Street Pizza in Mount Pleasant. Staple of the community. Jay doesn't like it because it doesn't have enough sauce on it. Okay. And so we tried out.
Order it with extra sauce?
I don't know. I guess we never even attempted that.
I feel like you should ask that.
So we got Paul Revere's and Jade gets pineapple and pepperoni pizza. So I tried that out. Honestly, not bad.
Yeah, sounds weird.
I thought it would be a little weird, but it tasted pretty good. Got some breadsticks. And I think that might be our go-to pizza place now.
Nice. I went to order Dino's on Mother's Day, and they're not open on Sunday nights anymore. And I was heartbroken. And now listening to you talk about that, now I want Dino's pizza, but they're not open on Mondays either.
What is it about restaurants where you crave them when they're not open?
It's always, because now that I just said that, I'm kind of like, Chinese sounds good too, but that's also not open today. Yeah. Mexican's always open.
That's the good point. That's the good part. Well, even like Mondays are the days where I don't want to cook. And so it's always like, oh, I'm just going to go home and order out food and I'll pick it up. And then every Monday, that's when things are closed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Speaking of pizza, there'll be a show about pizza now. Have you ever had the Stonewall Brick Oven Pizza?
Stonewall.
I think that's what it's called. Sometimes they have a truck downtown at Farmers Market. They have a place
I have
in
not.
Wellman.
I've not had it.
Super good. And then in Wellman, they have pizza on the farm. It's like they have their brick oven pizza truck in their yard, and they live on like this farm with like rolling hills.
Oh my god!
And they have live music. Like in the summer, you should follow them on Facebook.
Yeah.
See it? Like maybe we should have them on.
I was just about to say that we should just have them on the show.
Anyways, on like Friday nights throughout like June, July, I think maybe they already started. You go out there, you pay you go order pizzas, and you bring your own lawn chairs, you bring your own cooler, play music, have pizzas. Anyways, where I'm going with this is,
I mean, you already sold me. If you're trying to do a sales pitch, I'm sold.
My nephew's graduation party yesterday in Williamsburg, they had this pizza. So they were like cranking out the pizzas, and it was pretty awesome. So I did have pizza last night.
That's good.
As you did on Saturday. But
this is completely off topic, but someone I graduated, or they graduated a year after me, they were loaded, as some would say. Their dad built a pizza oven in their backyard to make brick oven pizzas for their child's graduation party. Yeah. They just built, like, oh, well, we're going to use it this one time. Might as well just build an entire brick oven.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I wish I had that type of money just to throw around.
Our neighbors have a brick oven pizza maker that they bought, and it's pretty awesome. Mm. Like whenever we drive by and they're making pizza, my kids are like, can we go over and say hi to them? Like try to get some pizza.
That's what Jade and I were talking about last. We need to start befriending upper class families to like just get invited to like pool parties and things like that.
Right.
Because we don't have any of those things.
Or find somebody with like an awesome vacation home and become friends.
Someone with a condo in the Ozarks.
There you go. All right. What else do we need to talk about? It's the last week of school. Girls State Golf is here coming up this week. Boys State Golf is happening also because one of the guys made it. And I saw you had Aaron Torius on the show last week.
Yes. I'm going to be kind of glad that the kids are out of school because they're in my way sometimes when I leave here, if I had to go down to Mount Pleasant, it's like 3:30 and there's kids in the way, or it's 8 a.m. and there's kids in the way.
All right.
Well, so I'm going to be glad when they're not mingling about.
Yes. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I cannot believe that my kids are going to be out of school on Thursday. Yeah. I work from home. My kids are going to be at home. It's going to be kind of challenging.
I don't have
me,
that.
But I am looking forward to not taking them to school in the morning. Mm-hmm. I feel like I can stay in bed a little bit longer, or that extra 30 minutes where I'm running kids around, I can maybe be productive at home.
Yeah.
But
then you get to travel to baseball tournaments.
Baseball. Yeah. We had baseball all weekend. I love it. We have baseball tonight also. So
oh my gosh.
All the baseball. One last question, and then I think we should go to commercial break.
Okay.
It's a very serious question, Nick. You ready? You like being put on the spot?
Yeah.
Okay. I am helping with my son's school. They're having pies in the face to teachers tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm in charge of I'm supposed to pick up whipped cream to make 25 to 30 whipped cream pies to pie teachers in the face. They're going to put them on paper plates.
Okay. And
pie people in the face. How many cans of whipped cream do you think I need for 25 to 30 whipped cream pies?
How many cans of whipped cream for 20?
This is very serious.
I think you could, if you really want to load them up, I mean, you could probably get 4 plates per can.
You think?
3 to 4. I'm going to go 3 to 4.
3 to 4 per can.
We'll go 3 to be conservative with it.
I know, because I'm like, since they're putting it on paper plates, I feel like it doesn't have to be as deep as it would be as if it was in a pan. Because really, you just need to have enough on it.
But yeah, but you don't want it to be lame.
Somebody. Yeah.
So you got to like kind of load them up.
Okay. Yeah. So that's something I have to do today. And I was like, how many cans do you think that is? And they're like, I don't know, 20 just 25 to 30. And I don't have to make the pies. I just have to bring the cans of whipped cream. So
that's a lot of cans of 20 divided by 30, 20 divided by 3.
Yeah, 10 cans of whipped cream.
I'm not looking forward to being a parent. I feel like it's expensive.
Well, I'm buying it with some school funds.
Oh, okay.
So it's not on me. But I'm like, you don't want to not have enough, but like it's the last day of school, you don't have a ton of whipped cream. But
then just have a bunch of whipped cream left over.
Then you just feed it to people. Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys have a suggestion of how many cans of whipped cream, make sure to put them in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll head to commercial break, and when we get back, we'll play the birthday game.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Diana Rich, with Nick Steffens in the studio today, and we've just been chatting it up about our weekend, putting miles on our cars, planting things, eating pizza. So all the good things. What's today's National Day, Nick?
Well, we got two that I want to talk. One is National Solitaire Day. We could just eat up time by playing solitaire.
Yeah, there you go. Do you like playing solitaire?
I went on a solitaire kick for a while, and I got like
everybody does.
I think everyone has that at some point in their life. Are you a big solitaire fan?
You know, I'm kind of same with you. I feel like I went through a phase where I was bored. I would play it on my computer, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to play.
And it's also my favorite cocktail, National Paloma Day.
Tell me more about this cocktail.
It's tequila, grapefruit juice, or grapefruit soda, a little bit of salt, and lime.
Okay, I want you to start looking at these in advance. So then, like on Friday, you could have went and bought the supplies, and then you could have made.
And then I would have gotten fired because apparently the code book says we're an alcohol-free
environment.
Yeah.
All right.
But then we'll have like the show at my place, and then or like on the like sidewalk. I guess that's illegal.
Could have like put out a deck of cards, and we could have played a game of solitaire.
That's true.
Speaking of games, do you do Wordle? Do you do the New York Times Wordle game?
I was big into Wordle, and that kind of fell off. What I do is Framed, which is Wordle, except it's movies. You just get one frame from the movie, each guess. But are you a big Wordler?
Fun. Yeah, I am. It's fun. I have a good time.
Does it like dictate the quality of your day?
It kind of does. It's like the first thing I do when I wake up, and then it's over, and then I'm kind of like, sometimes in 24 hours I can do it again.
Yeah. Sometimes if it's like I get done with news break, and it's like, well, I have 10 minutes before it goes live, but I'm done with it. I'll like bring up Wordle because it usually takes me about 10 minutes to figure out.
Today's was hard.
Don't tell me what it is, just in case I do it.
I'm not going to talk about it, but maybe on Wednesday we can talk about it.
I remember how crazy people were about it when it first, I think it was like when it got sold to the New York Times.
Yeah.
Like how big of like when I was on the radio at that point, it's like you couldn't talk about what the days were like, or you would get death threats.
I will say one day I was on Facebook and somebody kind of famous I was following posted what the Wordle was. And I was like,
you were filled with rage.
I haven't done it yet. Yeah, I was so upset. So then I went ahead and guessed it and won so I could, up my stats.
I was going to ask, have you ever gotten one in like one try? Like you
not without cheating.
Oh, because that's a good, I've done it because I always do the same word. I always do slate to start off.
Why?
Because weird backstory. I had a speech impediment growing up, and apparently because you have two vowels, you have A and E in there, but also S is a very common letter, so is T, is what I learned when I had a speech impediment going through speech therapy.
Okay.
So I do slate because it has all of like the common letters in it.
So I always start with audio.
That's a good one.
4 vowels.
Yeah.
And then I do another word, usually with an E in it, and then some other letters. But sometimes I go crazy and I'm like, oh, there's a train, and I type train in first. I go rogue.
But one day it was slate, and it was a great feeling when I got it in one try.
All right, so now I'm not going to guess slate because
don't guess it for a long time. And now I'm like, okay, it can't be my go-to word because I know for a fact it's not going to be slate ever again.
Maybe pick plate.
It's a good one.
Okay. I also heard that there's no plural words.
Wait, what?
So like if you put like meats.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do a plural. Yeah, it's not going to be a plural word.
Huh.
But an S could be in there, but it's not going to be on the end. So
that's a good thing to know.
I don't know. So you heard it here first, folks. Famous birthdays today. Am I going to play the game by myself?
I don't know what the birthdays are, and so we're gonna try it and play this.
See what happens.
So our first celebrity is Novak Djokovic. Jokovic. He's Serbian.
Okay. 38.
I'm going to go a little younger. I want to say that he's 35. So let's see, Novak Djokovic is it 36?
36.
So we each get a point.
All right.
Next up, we have Emma Chamberlain, who was a YouTuber and is now a podcaster, has her own coffee line. If you ever see Chamberlain Coffee,
Okay.
that is her.
29.
I want to.
I feel like she's older. I feel like that's quite the resume, though. I feel like maybe
I'd say it's
older.
quite the resume, but I know Jade watched her when she was on YouTube, and she was like in high school. So I want to say she's 24. I'm going to go that she's my age.
All right.
Emma Chamberlain. She's 22. She's actually, oh my gosh, that's quite the resume for
She's done a lot of things. She does look young.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so you get a point.
Yes. Next up, we have Naomi Campbell, the model.
43.
I feel like she's deceptively younger than she is. I'm going to go 45. Naomi Campbell is 53.
Wow, she looks good.
So we're off by a decade.
No points. Perfect.
And then our last celebrity is, where is the photo of her? Is Julia Jarszewska.
Yeah, that's how I was going to pronounce the last name too.
The Polish reality TV star.
29.
I'm gonna go 30. I'm gonna go 35. I feel like she's. How am I gonna find her age? She's so unfamous. She's 29. You got it.
Oh wow! So it's 2-1, and then I just got that one. So did I just win?
Yeah, you just got 4 points.
Boom.
Is that your first win in a
against somebody?
Against.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Are you gonna take a trophy, put it in your home office?
Yeah, no, probably not. I don't need more things. I'll leave them here. So, all right. Anything else we need to cover this morning, Nick?
No, just have a good week. It's Monday.
All right. Thanks for joining us on Washington Live. As always, please make sure to comment, like, and follow Washington Live. If you have any ideas for guests, so you don't have to listen to Nick and I talk about pizza and what we did this weekend, you can email washialive@gmail.com. And if you're interested in advertising with Washington Live, make sure to contact Julie at the Southeast Iowa Union. We hope you have a great Monday.